So hello guys, and welcome to another video, and I have absolutely been enjoying the Thousand Year Door remake. Like, there are so many things that they improved upon the original. The original was already my favorite game of all time, but they made it even better with this remake. Like, there's so many quality of life improvements, from the new fast travel system, like improving like backtracking in a lot of areas, and they even added things like the art gallery and the sound gallery and new bosses and different things like that. Like, so many like cool little things that they did here that just improved it just that much, and it's just great in general. Like, the new music is also amazing as well. The visuals are amazing. But yeah, it just like this is the closest that we can get to like a perfect Mario remake. But there are some things that I would have liked to see that weren't in this remake, like a few missed opportunities. And even though there are a few missed opportunities, the fact that these aren't in the game don't really take away from the experience. These are just things that would enhance it, just things that would kind of add on to it. So they're just really slight nitpicks and disappointments, nothing really that kind of brought my experience down at all, because I feel like every game, like even some of our favorite games, have things that we would have liked to see and some missed opportunities and things. But I'm going to go through some of these in this video, and basically none of these are like huge additions, like a new campaign, like the Luigi side story, like that a lot of people have been wanting, but now that the remake is released, it's kind of seeming like something like that wasn't entirely necessary, since the game is already filled with content, and there are a lot of things kind of offered here for people who've already played the original game. So I don't think like a new campaign was entirely necessary, so most of these are on the same level of things that we already had, like in the remake. So yeah, and the first thing is a boss replay mode, kind of like the Bossotronic from the Origami King. And I think this would have been a really nice feature to have, since I think it's nice to have that option to kind of like replay bosses again and everything. That was a great feature in Origami King. But I feel like they could have handled it a little differently. Like, they could have still had that high score thing, but rather than basing it on time, they could have based it on number of turns. And you would be able to kind of customize your badge setup in different things like that. So I think that would have been cool to see there. But yeah, I think with like the badge setup, they might give you the amount of badges and the amount of like HP and things that you would have like during like a normal run of the game, or even giving you the option to like adjust your stats would be pretty cool. So it would give you like it would put you into different categories for like high scores for that. And they could have even done something like online with that, but I'll get into that in a little bit. But like a way to like replay bosses would have been amazing. They didn't even really have to do like a boss, like a post-game, super boss thing. I mean, there were super bosses in the remake, but like a souped-up version of the bosses that you already fight in the game. They didn't even have to do that if they did like a boss replay thing. Just like a way to replay them would have been nice. And the next thing is the ability to take on multiple troubles at once, and also a full trouble menu to track your progress through the trouble and everything. It's a little disappointing that they didn't do this. This is probably the only thing that I feel like would have made this like a little better, I would say. And this is definitely like something that I would consider a little more necessary, since while troubles do seem to be slightly improved in the remake, since the fast travel is significantly better, so it is easier to tackle these troubles. It would have been nice to take on multiple at once, and while doing that, they could have also had like a menu to track them. Like, it kind of, like, you do kind of look at the troubles that you have currently available, like in the notes it shows you, but it would have been cool if it gave you like a progress bar for each of them. Kind of like how some games do it with this, like, side quests. Like, I know in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, like, they have a great way of tracking, like, side quests and things. They kind of show you, like, some, like, pointers onto where to go, and it kind of tracks the progress a little bit. So it would have been nice to have, like, a full trouble menu to kind of check these, check your progress, and then, like, tackle multiple at once. And with this, they could have even introduced, like, more troubles. Like, they didn't really have to with the current system. I'm kind of fine with the amount that they had, because they didn't really, like, fix it that much. But if they, like, kind of improved the system, they could have even added, like, more troubles in the game. So it is a little disappointing that they didn't improve troubles that much. They did add Ian Thumis, which helps you with the troubles, but he doesn't really add that much to it. He's a cool NPC, don't get me wrong, but, like, it would have been cool if it, like, it actually gave you the option to do, like, more with troubles here. But yeah, the next one is a very, very small one, but it would have been, like, a cool novelty to have. But a way to replay Bowser levels. That would have been, like, a fun, like, little thing to have. Maybe even, like, an arcade machine in, like, one of the buildings and actually in the Pianta Parlor. That would have been perfect to have, like, a Bowser themed arcade machine after you beat all of them. And you could just play the Bowser levels and get, like, a high score or something. I know they're, like very small levels, but it would have been fun to be able to replay them. Like, at least having that option would have been nice, since that's, like, the only point in the, like, it's only, like, certain points of the game where you actually get to play through those levels. So it would have been, like, a fun little thing to do, even though it's, like, very small. And speaking of the Pianta Parlor, it would have been cool if they had an online leaderboard for each of the mini-games, because they removed the high score one that you'd have to beat, which is a bit weird. I mean, not really, like, a huge gripe that I'd have with it, because, like, the Pianta Parlor mini-games are still fun, but it would have been cool if they replaced that with an actual online leaderboard, kind of similar to how Super Mario Odyssey's mini-games had, like, an online leaderboard. It would have been perfect for these mini games, because they're kind of, like, all, like, either time-based or score-based. That would have been, like, really cool to have. So I don't know why they didn't go farther with that. Like, it would have been great to have, like, an online leaderboard for the Pianta Parlor. But moving on, this one's also a very small one, but this is kind of like two instances in the story where this would have been needed. But a timer to track the Yoshi color, and also a timer to track the invisibility potion during the Peach section. Like, both of these would have been nice to have, especially for Yoshi, because, like, Yoshi is customizable with, like, the time, and it would have been nice if it showed, like, a color next to it, like, along with the timer. I think that would have been great to have. Like, I mean, I guess it would have been a bit, like it would have broken the immersion a little bit, but it would have been nice for, like, kind of tracking which Yoshi color, or maybe, like, they could have done some in-game explanation of it, like how long have you had this Yoshi, or something like that. I don't know what they could have done, like, something like that. But the invisibility potion one would have been nice to have, like, an in-game timer as well. I know it's, like, part of kind of, like, the playing the game to guess the time, but be honest, most people just pull out a stopwatch to look at the time, kind of like baking the cake in Paper Mario 64. And most people also use a stopwatch to track the Yoshi if they want a specific color as well, so I don't think it would have hurt to have, like, an in-game timer or something like that. Maybe they could even had in, like, an item or something, like a, well, not the stopwatch item, but like a I guess like an actual stopwatch that would display the time in the game. Like, if you're trying to do something, or, like, maybe even track the time, or even do, like, a speedrun thing. Like, if you're speedrunning through the Pit of 100 Trials or something, they could have, or like track your time or something. They could have had some like timer to like show like your stopwatch or something. That would have been cool. Like that would have been like a great like in-game way of tracking this. But yeah. So the next one is definitely something that I was a little disappointed about, like the original game, and a little disappointed that they didn't kind of improve here, especially with the new things that they've added with the Glitz Pit. But basically, I really would have liked to see them do a harder Glitz Pit. Like with your rematch, it's a little disappointing that you basically fight the same battles that you already did to just like replay the Glitz Pit. They really should have like had it so it was like post-game difficulty, or at least the difficulty of like the Pit 100 trials. That would have been cool to have like much harder battles for this, and it could have even leaded up to the super boss rather than the super boss being an exhibition match. It would have been cool if you got the super boss after you beat Rockhawk again, and they should have made like Rockhawk like harder too. It's just kind of disappointing, like since a lot of people go back, like don't really have an incentive to go back until like, at least in the remake, until like the post game. So it would have been cool to see like it, at least like another, like after you do like the regular Glitz Pit rematch, if you do the rematch like while you're playing the game, like a post game Glitz Pit rematch, that would have been really fun. But it's a little disappointing that they didn't do that. Like they could have had the same characters and everything. They could have said like, we were training Mario, now we're all like we're all like stronger now and everything. So that would have been fun. And another one is like kind of like a slight nitpick that I have with the remake, and this actually has something to do with something that they added to the remake. And that's an option to turn off the retries in the Pit of 100 trials. I don't think this is like too big of an issue, even though I'm a little disappointed that this option is kind of on. I mean, it makes sense for newer players to like retry in the Pit of 100 trials, but I feel like it kind of defeats the purpose for a lot of people, because the point of the Pit of 100 trials is that it's an endurance test to kind of go through it without dying, and that's what I did in my first go, the Pit of 100 trials, when I beat it right after Chapter 5. I just did it all in one go. So it would have been nice if you could like talk to like an NPC or talk to like a mover or something to turn it off. It would have been nice to have there. So moving on, there are a few things that I would have liked to see with badges. While there are 2 new badges in the game, and they are pretty cool, like with the 100% badge making Mario Gold, I think that's really cool. And the Nostalgic Tunes is also a great badge and option to have as well, but there are a few like new badges like actually like affecting the gameplay that I would have liked to see. And one of them is more partner badges. Like there's definitely a few badges that would have made sense to have with partners, like All or Nothing P, that was actually a scrapped badge from the original and also has an unused graphic in the remake as well. So it's a bit weird that they scrapped this badge and everything, because I feel like it would have been nice to have, especially since it would have probably been unlocked pretty late in the game. So it wouldn't have been too broken from where you get it. Like they could have put it like somewhere in Chapter 8, kind of like the regular All or Nothing. And the next one is Spike Shield and Ice Power P. I have no idea why they didn't add these in the remake. Like, especially like Spike Shield P. Like these definitely make a lot of sense for like any of the physical attacks that you do. Like especially with like Goombella or Yoshi. So it's a little disappointing that they didn't add these ones in. And then also like Zap Tap P or Lucky Day P, like a couple of these, like there's a few of them that wouldn't be like too redundant if they were added like for partners. So it is like a little disappointing that they didn't do like more partner badges. I'm just especially like kind of confused why they didn't do All or Nothing, Spike Shield, or Ice Power for the partners, because those make so much sense. But moving on, we have more emblem badges, and there's a couple that come to mind. The first one actually has to do with some concept art that was shown for the remake. Since one of the areas, like, or one of the things for Chapter 8 showed that, like, it actually had, like, the beta design for Mario from the original game, where he kind of had a more Paper Mario 64-esque appearance with his colors and overall design. And it's weird, because this was concept art for the remake, not the original game. So it would have been amazing if you could actually have, like, this more Paper Mario 64-esque design as one of the cosmetic options in the remake. Like, it would have made a lot of sense to have as a badge and everything. So, I think that's a little disappointing that they scrapped that, because that would have been, like, amazing, since I love that design. It's pretty cool. And another one for emblem badges is power-up colors, because that would have also been pretty cool to see. Like, just in general, more emblem badges would have been great. It's really cool that we got, like, at least one new emblem badge with the gold one. That is pretty cool. But it would have been cool to see, like, even more. So finally, another kind of, like, smaller kind of quality of life badge is a classic sound effects badge. It would be similar to Nostalgic Tunes, but it would change the sound effects back to the original. This might be pretty hard to implement, since it would kind of change the whole sound design of the game, rather than just the music. But if this was possible, it would have been cool if it, like, switched the sound effects and everything. But, yeah, because, like, I do like the new sound design. I actually do kind of prefer it to the original. But I do miss some of the sound effects. Like, the healing sound effect did have a little more personality in the original. Like, the new one is fine, but I do kind of have a soft spot for some of the older sound effects. I mean, some of the older sound effects are still here in the remake, but it would have been cool if you at least had the option to change it to have, like, all older sound effects and everything. But anyways, those are some of the missed opportunities in the Thousand Year Door remake. This remake is still my favorite game of all time regardless, and these are really only small things. Like, it really doesn't matter that much. But yeah, those are just, like, some very small things that I would have liked to see in this remake. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Twitter if you want to. Goodbye.